What's going on, guys? Jordan here, and today we're going to talk about a brand new platform. It's called HotStreak. Now, the cool thing about HotStreak is it's like a combination between a DFS platform like Prize Picks, Underdog, Parlay Play, any of those, and just a regular sportsbook like FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, stuff like that. And the reason I say that is it specializes in player props just like the DFS sites, and you have to make a parlay in order to submit a bet. However, the odds aren't fixed. We all know that on, Prize Picks, it's always going to be minus 119 per leg for a 5-pick flex. But on HotStreak, that's not the case. HotStreak, every single play has different odds, just like a sportsbook. So when you're looking to make a profitable bet, which has to be a parlay, it's a lot easier because instead of looking for the highest, win rate, has to be over that 54.25%, we can just find plays that are positive EV, whether they're plus odds, minus odds, it doesn't really matter. So the cool thing about HotStreak is that it's legal in a ton of states that don't have, your regular legalized sports betting. The three biggest that come to mind are California, Texas, and Florida. But there's also a ton of other smaller states, just like Minnesota, Wisconsin. The list really goes on, but there's this little loophole when it comes to daily fantasy that it's legal in those states, but not regular sports betting. So if you're in California, and you don't want to just use Prize Picks and Underdog and the DFS platforms, HotStreak is a great alternative and the closest, you can kind of get to making a normal sports bet. So because the payouts aren't fixed, like, Prize Picks, Underdog, any of those standard DFS platforms, the odds are going to change depending on which plays you include in your parlay. So the key to finding, a profitable parlay is finding positive EV bets. Pretty much all positive EV is bets where once you remove the VIG is like the house edge, the convenience fee, whatever you want to call it. It's the tax that the sportsbooks take to ensure that they're going to profit in the long run and we're going to lose in the long run. If you can eliminate that house edge, and let's just say the odds you can get it at are better than the fair odds or the no vig line, then you found a profitable bet. So the first play that I looked at was Darius Garland over 2.5 rebounds at plus 103. The profit margin on a play like this is 1.45%, which means that your ROI in the long run will be 1.45% profit. Now, you can see that a book like Hard Rock or MGM are giving you better odds on something like this, but taking it at plus 103 is still profitable. So for people that don't have access to those books, this is a great alternative. So this is going to be the first leg of our 2-pick entry. And the second leg that we're going with is Jimmy Butler under 29.5 points. You can see that this is tied for the best odds across all the sports books with FanDuel. But books like Caesars and DraftKings are very much favoring the under, DraftKings being as high as minus 140. And like I said, the other one had an edge. This one also has an edge, which therefore means that the parlay that we just built has a mathematical edge that will result in us making money in the long run. So the interesting feature that HotStreak has that all the other DFS platforms or sportsbooks don't have is they have an insurance option. While, Prize Picks does have that reboot program where if your player gets hurt or doesn't play the second half of a game, they will count it as a DNP and it'll just void that leg. But here you can pay a couple bucks. So we'll use our example. So we took Darius Garland over threes and we took Jimmy Butler under points. So the Jimmy Butler wouldn't really matter if he got hurt because obviously we're taking the under, so it would actually benefit us. But the Darius Garland, if he got hurt in the first quarter and he didn't return, usually on a normal sportsbook, that would just count as a loss. It's kind of like a small risk that you take when taking an over on a prop bet. But on HotStreak, what you can do is select the insurance option. You put a couple bucks, it's a couple dollar fee, and it ensures that if the player was to get hurt, it would get voided. Now, that seems really nice and you're okay, that's great. Now I can, kind of make this bet risk-free in the sense that I'm not going to lose because my guy got hurt. However, you can't have the mentality that's you're expecting your player to get hurt. And for every time that you make an entry, you have to think about how many times you make it and the guy gets hurt and that messes it up. So I don't really suggest anyone taking the insurance because all it is it's biting into your profits, and it's probably going to result in you losing money in the long run or not making as much as you normally would. But that's HotStreak. It's a really cool new platform. I wish we had it in Arizona. Unfortunately, we don't, because I would have been all over it. But it's a really fun combination between just like a normal DFS platform, like a Prize Picks, Underdog, and a regular sports betting app. And for people that live in states like California, Florida, Texas, these states where you don't have your normal legalized sports betting, this is a great alternative. It's a great way to kind of get some stake in the game, but also to make money. You know, if you do it the proper way, which is using math and finding profitable positive EV bets, then you can make a lot of money on this stuff. But that's it from me. As always, if you have any questions, make sure to ask them down below. Be more than happy to answer them. And I'll see you guys.